Going on YouTube, it's your boy TVK. Oh boy, my eyes are itchy because all the pollen. Today is day 4 of 30 days of TVK, and I'm gonna tell you, man, today was interesting. Not only am I talking to you guys and starting this vlog at the ripe hour of 3 p.m., but I'm also just like leaving the house for the first time today. See, from the moment I woke up, I've just been editing, and just didn't even leave my bed. It was bad. So now I've left, and it's beautiful, and we're gonna get the vlog started, and we're going down to the Mena Center to teach some lessons. Teaching is so fundamentally important, not only for the other people that you may reach, but for your development as well. I swear I was going to say something super profound about teaching, but I fell asleep on the subway, and now I don't remember what I was going to say. Oh darn it. And here we are, the teaching space. This is where I change and transform young minds and teach them the intricacies of how to read the alto clef. Yes, let's do it. What's good, Viola Nation? So, yes, today is over. It's dark outside. I finished everything. Finished editing the last video, and it is currently uploading, as we can see. Yes, uploading. Yes, finally. Okay. That makes this my first ever double upload to my channel ever. That's cray. But hey, this is 30 days of TVK. I've never done this before, so we're learning, we're doing things, we're blazing the trail for this channel. Anyway, today is the first fireside chat of 30 days of TVK, and we're just gonna answer a bunch of different questions that you guys asked me in the comments, and we're just gonna plow through this, and then we'll end the video. I first want to address, I did not initially think about relating this to FDR and his fireside chats, but I've always been a fan of FDR, and I guess it was just a subconscious decision to call them fireside chats. It's just us sitting together, like in my messy bedroom, just talking about life and just getting down to the nitty-gritty. With that said, let's get to your questions. Wesley Hamilton asks, talk about any summer festivals you've been to. What was your favorite one? Okay, so for me, when I was in high school, I went to this summer festival run by Atlanta Symphony musicians called Franklin Pond Chamber Music. And it was there I first discovered chamber music, and I quickly realized, it was those summers that I realized that music was what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. So those were amazing. Summer before my freshman year in college, I went to the Bowdoin International Music Festival with my ex-girlfriend, and it was an amazing experience. I studied with so many great teachers, and I met so many people that I would then run into years later, and the level there is just so high. So I was just very fortunate to have been able to go there. The next summer I went to Brevard Music Center, and let me tell you, I think Brevard was my favorite out of all of them. And it wasn't just because of the music, like I'm not too much of an orchestra head. I love orchestra music, but it's not my fiery passion in life. But what I will say, that summer was one of the greatest summer experiences that I had with people. I forged such deep, meaningful relationships in those 7 weeks with some wonderful people. I've never liked people so much. I've never liked people more. I've never liked people more than I did when I went to Brevard Music Festival. And mostly because, you know, Wi-Fi sucks, so you couldn't be on your phone. The food sucked, so everybody had to figure out, okay, who's driving to Taco Bell tonight? And everybody would go and play at Bowlioke, which was like this karaoke and bowling experience. It was so amazing. Everybody would get drunk, except me, because I was 19 and I didn't play that. And we would just go and sing karaoke and bowl, and it would just be a weekly thing everybody would look forward to. I mean, there's just so many things, so many personal things that happened for me too. That was the beginning of the worst years of my life in terms of depression. And being at Brevard really kind of stemmed a lot of the bleeding that I had during those times. So that was great. I loved it. Mary Stretcher asks, what are some of the best classical music pieces that you must learn? Well, off the top of my head, I would say Shostakovich Symphony No. 5, Tchaikovsky Symphony 4, 5, 6, Beethoven 5, 7, 9, Dvorak's 8 and 9. I don't really like 7 that much. You must learn Rite of Spring. You must learn Firebird. And I think you must learn the quintessential Beethoven, Mendelssohn, Mozart string quartets. Those are so important. I mean, you know what? All music's important. It's all important to learn. Those, you must learn everything, because you will discover pieces of music that you didn't think you would like and that you couldn't live without. And then you will also discover a piece one day, hear it and say that's pretty, and then come back to it years later and have it be fundamentally different and mean something completely different to you. And those are the moments that I really live for. So learn as much as you can. What vlogging camera do you use? Well, I use a Canon G7X Mark II. It's a little point and shoot. It's handy. It does the job. I'm really broke, so I don't have much time to invest or money to invest into like a big heavy DSLR and learning and all that stuff. So I'm biding my time. I'm taking something portable so I can run around, look like an amateur, and still get the footage for you guys, instead of like being flagged down, oh, he's a professional, you can't film here. So yeah, I'm trying to balance practicality and versatility with this product here. Who have been my most influential music teachers and why? Well, my first teacher, Amanda Sellers, was definitely my most. Amanda Moran now is definitely the most influential. She's the one who got me started. All she had to do was play Pink Panther, SpongeBob, and Addams Family and promise a trip to Disney World, and that was enough to get me hooked. So her, and then she believed in me. She gave me a couple of quick tips after class when I was auditioning for All-State in 8th grade. And when I made All-State in 8th grade, that really changed the whole course of my entire life, because then I met people that introduced me to people that introduced me to people that introduced me to people, and really snowballed into me going to Juilliard. How many years? 10 years later. Wow, 10 years. And then I think my most recent, most influential teacher was a woman by the name of Becca Albers. She took me under her wing in my junior year of my undergraduate studies and turned me and my playing and my musicality around. Before her, I was not even close to being able to audition for Juilliard and even being thought of as being a candidate. But after 2 short years, she changed my playing fundamentally in the way I think about music on such a deep, profound level that, I mean, by the time I got to Juilliard, it wasn't just like, oh, I'm there at Juilliard and I'm learning and it's so inspiring. Actually, it was just more of the same. She changed my world, and I love it for that. Jens Deckens asks, do you think that you can make it as a musician without going to music school at all? And I don't think you can. You need to go to music school, especially if you're trying to do classical music. Because you're gonna learn so much, you're gonna meet so many people, and half of your success in music is who you know and the knowledge you have and your ability to adapt and move and play with people. And that, you can't learn that outside of music school. You really can't. Like, how are you gonna win a job? How are you gonna pay for lessons? Like, it's just super important to go to music school. You just got to. You have to be in that environment. Put in the work. Would you ever expect anybody to make the NBA without going to college basketball or even playing in high school basketball programs or playing in any rec basketball or going to basketball camps? Do you think just somebody randomly would be just that gifted to make it? I think they're too rare, few and far between to justify not going to school. Heart Attack asks, having my 4th solo recital this Saturday, and I don't know why, but I'm very nervous, more than I've ever been. Do you have any tips on how to cool down and focus yourself? Well, the thing that I do is you just have to realize that everything is on the composer. All of the hard work was done by the composer. All you have to do is tell their message, tell their story. Fall in love with the music. Why do you like music? Why do you like sharing this? That's what you have to fall back on, because when you do a recital, it's not for a job, it's not for a school. You don't need anybody's validation. You just need to touch people. You need to say something. So stop getting in your head and just focus on saying something meaningful and making sure the audience will leave feeling more fulfilled than they came. And the last question from Pickle is, what's your opinion on feminists? Well, I identify as a feminist, and I think the feminists are great when they're not toxic, when they're not hateful, and when, I mean, like, if you look at any spectrum of people, you have the self-righteous social justice warriors, and you have the evil, oppressive, misogynistic people on the other side, and any extreme is really terrible. But if you just see the value in other people and want them to have equality, that's feminism. I've never lived as a woman. But what I can say is, from the experiences of my 2 roommates, my 2 female roommates, my adult grandmother and mother, my adult cousins, and all of my adult female friends, I understand that there is systematic disenfranchisement for women, and I really think that, you know, if you're someone like me, you're gonna want them to feel like they matter, like what they say matters, what their dreams and aspirations matter, and I think that's what feminism is. I love women in more ways than one, but seriously, like, if you really love something, you're gonna want the best for them. These are your nieces, these are your daughters, these are your mothers, these are your sisters. You have to take care of them. And I think that's more of what feminism should be about, rather than taking women and putting them in a superior position. No. And I think there's a lot of misinformation and toxicity that goes around there. I mean, it's not hard, people. Equity is equity, and fair is fair. Let's use our brains. It's not that hard. Don't get caught up in semantics. Well, thank you so much. This was a very interesting fireside chat. I had so much fun having you guys along with me today. I am finally caught up, and I'm gonna start editing this in the morning. I love you guys, love your faces. Hope you had a great day, and don't forget to play, homie, play. I'll see you tomorrow.